Okay, this is going to be volume one in a new series that I'm starting called Learn How to Control Yourself. And the reason for me making this series is because a lot of times, we as human beings, both men and women, of course, we get angry. We tend to say stuff we don't mean to say, and sometimes we tend to act out in ways we don't tend to act out, and sometimes we tend to, you know, get angry, lose our composure, and even lose our temper. And when we lose our temper, we tend to, you know, say things we don't mean to say or even act out. As we're going to see in this court case, this is, what happens here in this court case. And I'm going to use this court case as a backdrop, to point out some, do's and don'ts that that we shouldn't do, and I think that's something that we all can learn from. And of course, they're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna give my commentary. All right, give my take. Let's begin.
Plaintiff Kenadacia Garner has been married to the defendant since 2017, but she says after the defendant got her and another girl pregnant at the same time, he physically attacked Kenadacia and vandalized her car. So she's suing. Defendant Brandon Garner claims he grew up around a lot of violence, and that led to him joining a gang. Brandon says he went to prison while he was with Kenadacia, and when he got out, he discovered she had cheated. All right.
All right, let me say this before they continue. Well, that tends to happen a lot of times when you're with, when a man you with a woman, whether you're married or whether you're a boyfriend and girlfriend. A lot of times, if you're locked up, in most cases, not all cases, but in most cases, some women are going to tend to mess around on you while you're locked up, especially if you depends on how long you're locked up. Now, maybe if you're locked up for like 6 months, maybe a year, she might not do anything. But if you're locked up some more like 2 years or more, it's a likely chance or a good chance that she is probably going to mess around with somebody else. Not saying she's going to make them her boyfriend or her husband. In some cases they do, but also, but it is a chance that she might, quote unquote, have a side dude or a friend with benefits on you while you're locked up. All right, let us continue.
Guys, this court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
State your name.
Kenadacia Gardner.
Sir?
Brandon Garner.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing your estranged husband $4,500 for the cost of a car and emotional distress.
All right, let me say this before they continue. A lot of times, if you're married, and when usually, if you have to bring your quote unquote husband to court or wife to court and have to sue them, then that should let you know that it's time. It's time to divorce. It's time to move on. It's time to let them go. It's time for if you're the woman, you bring your husband to court and you suing him for something that he did to you, then it's time for you to divorce and let him go. And if you're a husband and you have to bring your wife to court, sue her for damages or something that she did to you, then it's time for you to divorce her and move on. All right, let us continue.
Yes, sir.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, me and my husband been married since 2017, December. I really thought this would have been the guy that I would have been married for the rest of my life.
Where'd you all meet?
We met in Buffalo, New York. Mutual people in common.
Did someone introduced you guys?
My brother and him know each other, so I thought it would have been like, okay, it's somebody mutual. But no, that's not like the life, our life.
How's it gone since then?
It's been hectic. It's been really crazy. He has been in and out of jail. When we
How many times?
Twice. He did 22 months. I stayed around. He came home. I got pregnant in May 2019.
After you came home?
Yes, sir. I found out within me being pregnant, he got another girl pregnant.
All right, let me say this too. That yeah, well, you say this real quick as well. Yeah, when that happens, that should have been a major red flag and a sign for her that, hey, maybe I should let this guy go, because simple fact is he been locked up. One, that should have been a red flag, him, being in and out of jail. And I don't know or understand why a lot of these women deal with a guy that's in and out of jail. But they'll tend to give a guy who's a criminal, quote unquote, and the guy who's in and out of jail a chance and deal with them and wait on them. But instead of dealing with a regular guy who's working 9 to 5, it's honest working and everything like that. But a lot of times they don't give those guys a chance. All right, let us continue.
He went back
Was he working when you got pregnant?
Yes, he was.
And he found out he had another girl pregnant?
Yes, sir. He wound up going back to jail literally the month I was having our son. When he went back to jail, I was just like completely done. He came back home. He was in a relationship with another female. He wound up calling me.
All right, let me say this too. Now, you said she said that she was quote unquote done with him, and he was in a relationship with another female. Now, my say is, if he's in a relationship with another female, then why are you letting him stay with you when you know he's in a relationship with another female? That doesn't make any sense. All right. Anyway, let us continue.
In November of 2020, and he basically told me that he needed help. So I let Brendan stay in my guest room in my house.
You tell him to go to the other woman who he got pregnant at the same time?
I'm sorry.
Things. Absolutely right, Judge. That's what she should have told him. She should have told him to go stay with the other woman that he's in a relationship, or either other woman he got pregnant. And let me say this too, guys. You don't need to be out. Look, if you ain't working, you ain't got yourself together and stuff like that, you don't even have your own place. You shouldn't even be dealing involved with any woman, let alone getting a woman pregnant when you don't even got yourself together. Don't even have your own place. All right, let us continue.
Okay.
You didn't tell him to go to the other woman whom he got pregnant at the same time?
No, because he came to me after leaving her. Like, he asked me for a house to stay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So you were the sucker. I knew somebody had to be a sucker in the situation.
Judge is absolutely right. And that's what happens sometimes. Not only just a woman being a sucker, but men also being a sucker as well. And that's why I say you got to be careful too. Some people are, like I say, so desperate to be with someone that they, will take anything. And like I was saying, if she was the type of person that had her head on straight and had her head on right, don't mean to down a woman, but she wouldn't be putting herself in this situation, circumstance, going back and forth, dealing with this guy here, who's in and out of jail, who ain't even got his stuff together, when she could be dealing with a guy, who got his self together and is gonna, treat her right. But some people gotta learn stuff the hard way. All right, let us continue.
He came home to you, so you the sucker. Go ahead, let me hear from you, sir.
Well, since I was young, I had a hectic life, since I was 12. I done seen, a lot of violence, which made me actually want to join a gang and be in the streets. I went to prison. I did 15 and a half years in prison. actually for something I didn't do. I went to trial blue and, went in there and,
Let me say this too, and that does happen sometimes too. When you out there get in trouble, hanging with the wrong crowd, sometimes you have a tendency of getting caught up, and then, as they say, end up being in what they call the wrong place at the wrong time. So that's what sometimes can actually happen too. So that's why I say you got to be careful of who you're being around with and with the company you keep, because sometimes in cases like that can happen. You can end up being in the wrong place at the wrong time and end up getting caught up, and then, like you say, end up in jail. For something that like you say, quote unquote, didn't do. All right, let us continue.
it destroyed me. It destroyed me to with a point. Couldn't function.
Couldn't function while you were there, you're saying?
Yes. There,
What years were you there?
Say that. I can't say that.
What years were they?
2005, 2006.
No, the 15 years you said you did.
Yeah. From 2006 all the way till 2000. What is it? 20.
Everybody knows their out date, sir. He do 15 years in prison and doesn't know his out date.
I can't.
That's all you remember every day. That's all you remember every day is your out date. Go ahead, sir. When you came out, what happened?
I met Kenadacia, my wife. We met. For me, it was good until I went back to jail. And then
What did you go back for? I mean, what was there that's drawing you back?
It really was just, I couldn't get it right.
How old were you when you went in?
17, 16.
Yeah, and by that time, you're 33?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. And so you got in trouble again within a month?
Yes.
Most guys at least give a chance for 6 months and then get dissuaded. But go ahead. You gave yourself 1 month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm knocking on the penitentiary door. Let me back in. Go ahead. They let you back in and gave you what?
22 months. They gave me 22 months. Kenadacia, she was around. But when I came...
Were you all living together when you came home?
Yes.
And did you know that he was involved in criminal activity?
No.
You couldn't tell?
No, he didn't show that side.
What?
Let me say this before they continue. And that's another thing that happens too. A lot of times when people meet someone, they don't really take the time to vet them and get to know them. And by her jumping into a relationship or even getting married to this guy, she obviously didn't take the time to vet him and get to know him, to find out what he was all about. And she's sitting up here, of course, saying she didn't know, about his quote unquote criminal side and stuff. Maybe she did, maybe noticed it, but maybe chose to ignore because she really liked him, or obviously maybe she was just really that naive that she really didn't notice or note it. All right, let's continue.
What type of activity was he involved in?
When he went to jail the first time, or
The second time.
the second time?
Living with you when you already.
We wasn't living together. He was staying with his mom.
I thought you said when he came home, you weren't living together. You just were dating.
We was just dating, right?
Okay. How often were you seeing each other?
We were seeing each other every day. We stayed like 5 minutes
So
away.
you would be able to tell his lifestyle. That's my point.
No, I did not see his lifestyle, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, I got you.
No.
You were with him every day and you couldn't tell anything about his lifestyle. I got you.
Well, like I say, she probably knew what his lifestyle was, but just chose to ignore it or whatever. And more likely, she might have just been heads over heels and didn't pay no attention to what he was doing or whatever was going on with him. So I blame. So like I say, I blame her for not really getting to know this person before truly or seriously getting involved with him. All right, let us continue.
Didn't know your lifestyle. Go ahead.
So when I came home, me and her, we sat down, and that's
So she
when...
thought you went to prison for shooting marbles? Go ahead. She knew what you were doing, whatever it was. She was benefiting from it.
Yeah. So when I came home, me and her sat down, and then that's when I found out that, she was cheating. She was cheating, had multiple dudes, and she was doing her. So that's what put.
Let me say this too. As I said earlier, that's what's going to happen a lot of times. When you're involved with someone, especially man, you're involved with a woman, and then you end up going to prison, then more likely it's a likely chance that she is going to get involved with someone or start messing with someone else. While you locked up. So I mean, that comes, with the territory. You don't want your woman messing around and all that stuff. Or well, person gonna do what they want to do. If they're gonna mess. If they want to mess around, they're gonna mess around. Whether you locked up or not, and if you really locked up, that really gives them an excuse or reason to say, "Hey, he's not around. He probably ain't gonna know or whatever." So, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I do, and that's what tend to happen sometimes. But anyway, when you found out that she was messing around after you got out, you should have just left her alone. Should have moved on, worked on getting yourself together, getting your life on track, and hopefully finding someone else and staying yourself out of trouble and getting yourself locked up. All right, let's continue.
Pushed me to like, okay,
Is that true,
the
man?
same thing.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you didn't have any guy you were seeing?
She
No.
happened.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so
That pushed you to do what?
pushed me to do the same thing, start cheating. Then, some female guest told her that I had somebody else pregnant, which actually wasn't true.
And also, let me say this real quick too, before he continues. Also, too, that if you dealing with someone and they messing around, instead of just going back and forth saying, "Hey, they messed around on me, I'm gonna go mess around back on them." Best thing to do is just move on from the situation, cut them off, and keep it moving. Or if you is going to mess around with them, don't take them seriously. Then just keep it as a friend with benefits. Type this situation or part time lover type situation. If you're going to do something like that, but don't take them seriously. If in a serious committed relationship, if they cheating and messing around, same thing goes for you as well as ladies. All right, let's continue.
Still not true to this day. And she figured it out. And it's like, relationship was downhill.
Years were you there?
From 2006 all the way till 2000, 20?
Everybody knows they're outdated, sir. He do 15 years in prison and doesn't know his outdate.
I
That's all
can't.
you remember every day. That's all you remember every day is your outdate.
Defendant Brandon Garner is being sued by his estranged wife, who claims Brandon physically attacked her and vandalized her car.
How you doing these days? Because you have a child, or what's your income like? How are you taking care of yourself and your child?
I got 2 jobs.
Sure.
I got 2 jobs. I work one as a security, and the second one I work doing ribbons, shipping them out throughout the America.
That's your only case?
Um,
Two. You can't get out. Well, you can only get one expunged, depending on the second one.
Mhm.
There's nothing you can do to prepare yourself better. Some folks allow ex-felons with 2 convictions to work.
Mhm.
So try and get a skill primarily. And I always advise in your local community college, check that out so you can prepare yourself for a workplace. All right, tell me how.
All right, let me say this for the continue here. The judge is right too, and I tell young people this all the time that, well, if once you finish high school, and if you're not able to go to college because some people can't afford to go to college, and college is also not for everyone too. But if you can't go to college, either try to get out and get a job, or if you can, maybe try to see if you can maybe take up a trade, go to trade school, maybe something like for auto mechanics, also for plumbing, also for electronics, bricklaying, construction, because those jobs are always going to be essential. You're always going to need, people for them type of jobs. So that's something that, as young people, should also think about. Even older people as well too, even not in school, you can also go take up a trade. Even computer classes too as well. And even, a lot of women, especially where I live at, or area I live in, a lot of young women, they come out of school, they tend to go to school, take classes for nursing, become nurses and stuff like that. But also, saying for the, men as well, to something that, especially as you young gentlemen, come out of school, something that, can think about as well. All right, let us continue.
How he owes the cost of the car.
Well, Your Honor, December the 11th, we got into a fight. He wind up chokeslamming me and throwing me into the floor in front of the kids.
Of 21?
Yes, 21. When he did that, he wind up trying to take my car keys. Now, with the car, he wind up trying to take my car keys, trying to fight me for the car keys. I told him no because he was already...
Hey, let me say this too real quick before she continues. Gentlemen, when you with a woman, and you gotta go through, you gotta hit her, choke her, fight her, and all that stuff, it's time to let that woman go. It's the old saying goes that if you gotta beat them, you don't need them, man. Man, no matter what the circumstance or situation is, you should never put your hand on a woman. You should never, ever put your hands on a woman, for no matter what the reason or whatever circumstance is. If you find yourself getting mad or angry and upset and you got to put your hands on a woman, it's best to just, leave, walk away, and maybe, think about, hey, maybe it's time to move on from this relationship. All right, let's continue.
Drunk. He walked in the house drunk in front of the kids, started the whole scene. No reason. When I didn't give him the car keys, he wound up going outside. When he went outside, he threw a Buffalo can at my windshield. He busted the window. He took the interior of the car, ripped it off. He wound up pouring milk and honey and putting stuff inside my gas tank. I have a video of that.
Did you ever find out why he did it?
We argue over a charger, Your Honor, and I would not let him give him the keys to my car. So
charger, as in
a phone charger.
But then you add.
All right, let me say this before they continue here. And that's another thing too, fellas. Saying one, you down, you should put your hands on the woman as well. Also, even if you're mad or upset, shouldn't you go out there and be damaging the vehicle, damaging the car? And see, when you do stuff like this, there's consequences. And see, like you say, you already been locked up locked up twice. And have she pressed charges, she more likely been locked up again. And you also got to be careful with that too, because in some states they have the 3-strike rule. You break the law and you get locked up 3 times. You in jail for a long, long time. I don't know. Some states is life. Some states is at least a minimum of 10 to 20 years. And as I say, if you're dealing with someone and you got to go through all this, damaging the car, beating and hitting on the woman, it's time to move on, man. It's time to let the marriage or relationship go. It shouldn't even ever come to that. All right, let us continue.
Added on, you wouldn't give him the keys to the car. What did he want the keys to the car to do?
To leave my house.
Okay.
Perfectly.
He was drunk?
Yes, he already came in the house intoxicated and everything.
That's why you refused him, among other
Absolutely.
reasons, and he got angry and tore the car up. That's what you're saying happened.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me hear from you, sir.
Your Honor, she capping. She's telling a story right now that ain't true. When I moved back in with her, we got into a dispute. It was many different occasions where it was women this, women that. So when I came from work and you came in the house, she was ranting, screaming, yelling, and trying to fight me. So me restraining her and so she won't hurt me, she just went crazy. So then for me, she said I hit her and all that. No, that's a lie. For me not to hit her, I went outside and I did do it to the car. I did throw the City of Buffalo garbage can through her window. I did do that. I did pour the milk in there. I did.
Let me say this too. I understand, okay, if you say, you didn't hit or whatever, but still, that still don't give you no reason to go outside and pour stuff into the car, throw something, bust the windshield or bust the window and all that stuff, damage the vehicle. That's stupid, man. Come on now. If you're going to go outside, maybe, take you, go for a walk or something, walk around, cool yourself off, cool down. Don't go out there damaging the vehicle and all that stuff. When you do that, like I say, your life was changed, you end up in jail, and then you be like you are now. You're in the court getting sued. All right, let's continue.
I felt, I was provoked.
You have any evidence that he hit you?
Absolutely, Your Honor. I have the hospital with the nurse and the doctor. This right here, it's on page 6. I have page 5 is an order of protection I wind up getting on him, and on top of it, page 3 and 4 is the.
All right, let me say this for the continue too. See, that's another reason I make it a series too, because fellas, you got to be careful when you do stuff like this. Because when you do stuff like this, women will get documents and stuff like this, and will present this in court. And when they decide to take you to court to sue you, they will get doctors' evidence. They will get all kinds of evidence, pictures, video, police reports, doctor bills, doctor's reports and all this to bring a case against you and sue you. So if you do stuff like this, so avoid getting yourself caught up in situations, circumstances like this. It's best, like you say, don't do it. Keep your hands to yourself, and also definitely don't damage their property. All right, let's continue.
The police statement, even with the police officer bringing an ambulance to my house so I can get on the ambulance to go to the hospital because my whole neck was swollen and my face was swollen. And my kids, I have a video of my kids even saying what happened because CPS got involved.
Let me see the video that you have.
Put milk in the tank. Of course I did. I'm back home now. Oh, wow. Wow. He did this. He has a. Nah, that's probably the garbage can. Oh my God.
Thought you were saying you were going to show something that gave
The ambulance?
credibility to the attack.
Oh, if you look on.
Video. I saw it here on the video.
Okay.
Okay. On living together, you just were dating.
We was just dating, right?
How often were you seeing each other?
We was seeing each other every day. We stayed like 5
So
minutes
you
away.
would be able to tell his lifestyle. That's my point.
No, I did not see his lifestyle, Your Honor.
Okay, I got you. You were with him every day and you couldn't tell anything about his lifestyle. I got you.
Defendant Brandon Garner is being sued by his estranged wife, who claims Brandon physically attacked her and vandalized her car.
No, I've seen enough evidence, overwhelming amount of evidence that he attacked you. And sir, sound like you should have gotten to that car quicker so that you wouldn't assault her. I believe you assaulted her based on the witness testimony from the doctors who saw her, from the police who gave the report, from the restraining order that the judge believed that you did it, the prosecutor's office. So I believe it too. 4,500 is your judgment. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. I hope you get help and I hope you slow down with the drinking.
You a lying, unstable creature. That's what I gotta say. That's it.
Well, anyway, that's it. And like I said, gentlemen, I hope that that this is a learning lesson for you not to get caught up in situations, circumstances like this. And also, like I said, if you got to go through all this and that, leave the situation, leave her alone, and move on with your life. And also, ladies as well, if you ever get caught up in a situation like this, and especially you got to bring her to court, move on. And I hope and pray that she, after this, if they not divorced yet or she gets divorced from him, move on with her life and they go their separate ways. And hopefully, maybe they can co-parent. And like she said, if he has got a drinking problem, maybe he needs to stop the drinking. Maybe enter to AA, Alcohol Anonymous, is helping with his drinking, and maybe even see a counselor also to help him with his anger issues. And also pray and seek God and ask God to help you with that as well too. But anyway, that's it on that. And so hope you all guys, hope you all learned a lesson from this, and hope and pray that you don't get caught up in this. All right. All right. Well, take care. God bless you all. Peace.